Safety Manager. From Zero to Expert by Dmitry Borovoy. Corrective Action Plan. Chapter 17. Corrective Action Plan. The last chapter, and honestly, the most hopeful one of all. Because by this point, you already know everything you need to avoid landing in a cap in the first place. And if you did land there, what follows is a step-by-step guide out. A cap is not the funeral of your company. It's the second shot that FMCSA gives almost everyone. Read this before the rest. If you open this chapter not out of curiosity, but because a letter from FMCSA is sitting in your inbox demanding a corrective action plan, stop. The chapter can wait another 10 minutes. Right now, it's more important to get your head straight. First, a cap is not a revoked authority. If FMCSA is asking for a plan, it means they are not shutting you down right now. They're saying, "We found violations. Here's your window to fix them. Show us you fixed it and keep operating." This is an invitation to a retake, not an expulsion. Second, a properly written cap passes. I've seen dozens of these plans. If the structure is right, the tone is polite, and the attachments are in place, approval comes back in 2 to 3 weeks in roughly 9 out of 10 cases. The ones that get rejected are the ones who send in a single page that says, "We didn't violate anything, the inspector was wrong." Those, yes, those get rejected. Third, it's not a stigma. Plenty of solid carriers had a cap in their first year, especially in 2017 and 2019, when the ELD mandate ran through half the industry. It's part of the company growing up, not a verdict on its reputation. Fourth, you have time. FMCSA doesn't bang on your door in the middle of the night. You have a letter in hand with a date on it. A new entrant gets 60 days under Section 385.319C to complete corrective actions. Passenger and hazmat carriers, 45. And FMCSA's own policy asks for the cap itself within the first 15 days. That's enough time to do the work calmly, not in a panic. Now, to the work. 17.1. What a Corrective Action Plan is. Corrective Action Plan CAP, a formal document where the carrier answers 4 questions for FMCSA. 1. Why the violation occurred. 2. What has already been done to close it. 3. How the company will prevent it from happening again. 4. What evidence confirms all of that. It's a work on your mistakes exercise, just in the format FMCSA accepts. It rests on 49 CFR, the same carrier rulebook we've been referencing in every previous chapter. When FMCSA requires a cap, 3 scenarios. There aren't really any others. Scenario 1, failed new entrant safety audit. The first 18 months a company is a new entrant, and during that period an audit is mandatory. 1 critical violation or a cluster of acute violations, audit failed, letter incoming. Under Section 385.319C, you have 60 days from the date of the letter to complete corrective actions. Passenger and hazmat carriers, 45 days. But FMCSA's official policy is to receive the cap itself within 15 days of the failure notice. Send it later, and the agency doesn't guarantee it will review the plan before the clock runs out, and registration can be revoked before a decision. Working rule. The cap goes out in the first 15 days. Scenario 2. Conditional or unsatisfactory rating after a compliance review. An active carrier went through a full compliance review, received a conditional or unsatisfactory rating. To get back to satisfactory, you file a safety rating upgrade request, and the cap goes inside that package. Scenario 3. Response to a specific problem. Sometimes FMCSA or an insurance carrier requests a plan not on the whole company, but on a specific incident or pattern. For example, when CSA scores in unsafe driving or HOS compliance go red. CAP and data queue, don't confuse them. Data queue, Chapter 14. You prove the violation didn't happen or was recorded incorrectly. CAP, you acknowledge the violation and show how you're fixing it. The violation really happened? Data queue is closed. You go to CAP. 17.2. How the FMCSA letter is structured. A typical letter after a new entrant safety audit has 4 blocks. Block 1. General company information. Owner, DOT number, number of trucks and drivers. Block 2, results across 6 segments. FMCSA checks the company in 6 categories. 1. General information, documents, insurance, authority. 2. Driver, driver qualification files, CDL, medical cards, disqualifications. 3. Operations, HOS, ELD, logbook. 4. Maintenance, annual inspection, DVIR, truck condition. 5. Hazardous materials, if you have hazmat authority. 6. Accident, frequency and severity of accidents over the last 36 months. Each one gets pass, fail, or NA. Block 3. Comments on the fails. Wherever there's a fail, it lists a specific 49 CFR citation and a short description of what was found. A typical scenario I've seen more than once. The company opens in fall 2018, right in the middle of the AOBRD to ELD transition. The owner drives himself, still uses his old AOBRD because it worked fine. Audit comes in spring 2019. Inspector opens the logs, sees AOBRD after the mandate. That's 49 CFR 395.8, critical violation. Operations, fail. Audit failed. Block 4, what's required from you. Here FMCSA names the CFR sections that must be addressed. The deadline, 60 days for a new entrant, 45 for passenger hazmat. The cap itself is expected within 15 days. The documents that must be attached. The questions that must be answered in writing. If you're scared, what to do in the first 24 hours. 1. Scan the letter into CAP 2024 FMCSA letter.pdf. Paper copy into a physical folder. 2. Deadline into the calendar. Reminders at 10/5 2 days out. 3. Write down the CFR numbers that were violated. Just numbers, no commentary. 4. Don't answer anything that day. Rushing produces mistakes. 5. Don't call the inspector with complaints. At all. Quiet respect is worth more right now. 6. Call someone who's already done a CAP. A safety manager, a consultant, an outsource firm. Not for advice yet, just to hear the voice of someone who knows this situation is solvable. 17.3. Anatomy of a proper CAP. Memorize this structure. It's the same for every type of violation, only the filling changes. Block 1. Shell, cover, company name, DOT number, MC number, address, phone, email, full name and title of the responsible person, owner or safety manager, date prepared. Block 2. Acknowledgement. 2 or 3 sentences where you confirm that 1. The FMCSA letter has been read. 2. The fact of the violation is acknowledged. 3. The company commits to operating in accordance with 49 CFR and hazardous materials regulations. 4. At the moment of CAP submission, the company is already in compliance. Below this block, signature of the owner or officer. Without a signature, the document is dead. Block 3. Why this violation was allowed to occur. A short, honest, polite explanation. No, the inspector was wrong. No, nobody told us. No, we're basically fine anyway. A working formulation. Same AOBRD ELD case. The company was formed on 10/23/2018 during the transition period from AOBRD to ELD. There was misunderstanding about the applicability of AOBRD for a newly formed carrier. The owner was under the impression that AOBRD could still be used. We apologize for this misunderstanding and have fully implemented ELD in accordance with 49 CFR 395.22. 3 components without which the block doesn't work. 1. Acknowledge the fact. 2. Explain the context. 3. Stated what's already been done. How not to write it. The inspector nitpicked. We didn't know we needed ELD. We're fine. That's a rejection. Block 4. Actions taken to correct. The core of the plan. Concrete actions the company has already taken. 5-10 items is the right volume. Working formulations that FMCSA accepts. We are now working with a national safety consulting company that has provided additional safety controls and education to ensure we are aware of FMCSA regulations and procedures. We have updated our log audit policy and procedures and have included them in our revised driver handbook. Attached, a corrective action description and a step-by-step disciplinary policy for drivers who repeatedly fail to submit their records of duty status on time. We have implemented ELD and switched our driver from AOBRD to ELD in accordance with 49 CFR 395.22. We have sent the driver written ELD instructions and documented his acknowledgement. We have developed and distributed a new HOS guide based on FMCSA regulations. We have added a malfunction procedure policy requiring drivers to reconstruct RODS on paper logs if ELD fails. We now conduct monthly log audits, cross-referencing ELD logs with bills of lading, fuel receipts, and toll records. Block 5. Future actions: what you're planning. Training, changing ELD providers, hiring a safety manager, software. With deadlines. Without deadlines, it's not a plan, it's a wish list. Block 6. Responsible person. Name, title, experience of the person in charge of executing the CAP. In a small company, that's the owner himself. Write it that way with a description of your experience. Block 7. Additional documentation. This is where the evidence lives that there's actual work behind the words. 17.4. What to attach. Using an ELD CAP as the example violation, 49 CFR 395.8. Improper RODS. Here's what goes in the package, the minimum you cannot drop below. 1. Copy of FMCSA letter, copy of the letter you're responding to. 2. Written answers to FMCSA questions, a separate document with answers to every question from the letter. 3. ELD provider worksheet, ELD provider name, device name, ELD model number, software version, ELD identifier. 4. The CAP itself, 4 to 8 pages. 5. Driver handbook, a substantial internal regulation document, 60 to 90 pages, covering accident policy, training, drug and alcohol, HOS, ELD usage, malfunction procedure, discipline. 6. Log report, detailed with pickup delivery, BOL number, routes. 7. ELD logs for 30 days, via web services transfer with the output comment code and additionally in PDF. 8. DVIR, daily pre-trip and post-trip. 9. Bills of lading for the audit period. 10. Fuel reports, with date, location, volume. 11. Monthly log audit summary, showing the inspector that the system is working. 12. HOS summary, detailed and summary, with on-duty, sleeper, driving broken out by day. The rule: the thicker the package of quality attachments, the higher your odds. The inspector should close the folder thinking, these people didn't just write it, they actually put it in place. Samples: base cap template, 4 pages, in the book materials pack, truckernavi.com/en/book. Extended cap template with attachments, driver handbook drafts, log audit templates, same pack. 17.5. How to submit the CAP. 2 channels. Use both. 1. Safer Portal, the secure FMCSA portal. Log in under the carrier's account. Upload documents. 2. Email. Duplicate it to the inspector's address from the letter. Why both? So that if something breaks on their end, you have proof of submission, and so nobody can later say, we never received it. After submission, save the delivery confirmations, Safer Portal screenshot, email delivery receipt. Wait 2 to 4 weeks. After 30 days of silence, a short, polite follow-up to the inspector's email. 17.6. Common mistakes. Mistake 1. Defensive tone. The inspector misunderstood. We were misinterpreted. You cannot write that in a CAP. If you disagree with the fact, that's data queue, Chapter 14. In a CAP, only acknowledgement and correction. 2 different games, don't mix them up. Mistake 2. 1 page, everything fixed, respectfully Ivan. Guaranteed rejection. Minimum, 4 pages of CAP, plus driver handbook, plus attachments. Mistake 3. Unmodified template. Grabbed a template off the internet, put your company name in 3 places, left the other 113 places as is. Inspector opens it, someone else's company is in your CAP. Conversation over. Tip: Control F, replace all, change every company name to the real one. Then, read the whole document slowly. page by page. Placeholders love hiding in footnotes and table headers. Attached logs without reading them. This is the most common and most painful mistake. You attached 30 days of ELD logs, and the drivers got driving without duty status, personal conveyance in the middle of a work shift, locations that don't match the route. The inspector looks and finds new violations. Now you have 2 caps instead of 1. Spend half an hour on the logs before sending. Walk through them, find the problems. Have the driver make edits with his confirmation, and only then send. Mistake 5. Forgot the signature. An acknowledgement without the officer's or owner's signature is not a document. It's a draft. The inspector is not required to consider it. Mistake 6. Missed deadline. The deadline in the letter is not preferably, it's hard. Miss it, authority revoked, and there's no road back from that point. Put the reminders in the calendar the minute you get the letter, and get the cap out within the first 15 days. Mistake 7. Words without evidence. You wrote, "We conduct monthly log audits." Attach at least one audit summary. You wrote, "We gave the driver a handbook." Attach the driver's signed acknowledgement. Words without confirmation carry no weight in a cap. 17.7. 3 typical scenarios. Scenario A. Smooth, approved on the first try. Ivan opens a 1-truck company in October 2018. Fails the new entrant audit on ELD. Gets the letter. Here's what he does in 10 days. 1. Buys a certified ELD system. 2. Moves himself over to ELD, documents the training. 3. Writes the cap with acknowledgement, context, transition period, and a description of 8 specific actions. 4. Puts together 12 attachments, including an 82-page driver handbook. 5. Submits through Safer Portal plus email. 6. 2 weeks later, cap accepted, new entrant status maintained. That's the gold standard. Most approved plans look exactly like this. Scenario B. Approved on the second try. Company with 5 trucks. Compliance review failed on HOS and driver qualification. First cap, done in-house, 3 pages. Rejected for insufficiency. Second try. 1. Brought in an outside safety manager for a one-time engagement. 2. Rewrote the cap with the full structure. 3. Filled out the DQ files, safety performance history, MVR, clearinghouse reports. 4. Approved in 3 weeks. The takeaway is simple. The second try almost always passes if you actually address the comments from the rejection. Scenario C. Company shut down. 2-truck company, new entrant. Critical violation, driver without medical card. Cap demand arrives. Owner writes a single page. Didn't know, now we have it. That's it. No attachments, no acknowledgement, no handbook, no demonstration of a system. Result? Authority revoked. No more company. The difference between Scenario A and Scenario C isn't company size or severity of the violation. The difference is how seriously you take the response. 17.8. 2 tracks. For owners, Track A. Owner. If you're the owner and you got a cap demand, Rule 1. Don't sit down to write the plan the day you get the letter. This is not work you do on emotion. 1. First 48 hours. Calmly read the letter, write down the violations, CFRs, deadline. 2. Decide, am I doing this myself or ordering it turnkey? 3. Doing it yourself. Take the samples from the book materials pack, truckernavi.com/en/book, the driver handbook template. 4. Ordering it. Hand the letter to a safety consultant and work in tandem. They write, you gather the documents and sign. Honestly, if you have 1 to 3 trucks and this is your first cap ever, delegate. The cost of a mistake here isn't a fine, it's the whole company. Writing a cap from scratch with no experience is 40 to 60 hours of work, and the document will still be weaker than a professional one. Some owners go for it on principle. I'll do it myself. I don't judge, but I've seen many times how that ends. On your first cap, don't experiment. For staff safety managers, Track B, employed safety. For a safety manager, the cap is a baseline skill you develop in the first 1 to 2 years on the job. 1. Keep 3 to 5 cap samples of different types on hand. ELD, driver files, maintenance, HOS. 2. Build a phrasing bank. ready-made English blocks that you assemble like Lego for the specific case. 3. Maintain a live driver handbook. Update it annually. It goes into every cap as an attachment. 4. The main skill is translating the violation into CFR language. Driver didn't keep a logbook. 49 CFR 395-8. Plan addressing that section. 5. The second skill is inspector-friendly English. That gets trained like any professional style. Read your own old caps and other people's. Mark where it sounds polite and dry and where it sounds defensive. If you work in outsourcing, at Trucker Navy for example, you have dozens of approved caps in the archive. Use them as reference. Don't reinvent the structure. 17.9. How to talk with the inspector after submission. Follow-up questions often come in after submission. 5 rules. 1. Answer quickly, 1 to 2 business days. 2. Answer strictly the question asked. No monologues like, by the way, another thing we're doing here. 3. Stay polite, even if the question seems silly. 4. Save all correspondence. 5. Don't promise what you won't do. They ask, will you run the training by end of month? Answer yes, only if you actually will. The inspector will remember. Pause. If during the cap work you feel like you're drowning in documents, that's normal. Every safety manager's first cap feels like climbing a mountain. The secret is breaking it into days. Day 1, read the letter, write down the CFRs. Day 2, gather logs, BOL, fuel, DVIR. Day 3, write the cap itself. Day 4, adapt the driver handbook. Day 5, check the logs. This is a critical day. Day 6, final proofread plus owner's signature. Day 7, send. 1 week, realistic. Your cap should be out within 15 days, and the corrective window runs 45 to 60 days, which means you'll still have a buffer for hiccups. Keep going. 17.10. If the cap gets rejected. This is not the end. Work the steps. 1. Read the rejection carefully. It says exactly what wasn't accepted. 2. Classify the problem. Missing documents, add them. Not enough specifics, rewrite with detail. Wrong CFR in the citations, reformulate. 3. If you need time, request an extension. FMCSA usually grants 15 to 30 days to rework. 4. Resubmit the cap with the fixes. Losing authority after a first rejection is rare. The ones who lose it are usually the ones who just go silent after the rejection. 17.11. Cap for other types of violations. We covered ELD. For the other segments, the structure is the same. Only the CFRs and attachments change. Violation type, CFR, key attachments. ELD, HOS, 49 CFR 395. ELD logs, log audit summary, ELD provider info, HOS guide. Driver qualification, 49 CFR 391. DQ files, MVR, medical cards, SPHR responses. Drug and alcohol, 49 CFR 382. DNA policy, clearinghouse reports, random testing log. Vehicle maintenance, 49 CFR 396. Annual inspections, DVIR, maintenance records. Insurance, financial responsibility, 49 CFR 387. MCS 90, certificate of insurance. Accident register, 49 CFR 390.15. Accident register, police reports, claim files. For each type, keep a mini checklist of documents and a CAP template with the correct CFRs. Checklist. CAP preparation checklist. Letter scanned. Deadline in calendar. Reminder set. All violated CFRs written out. Decision made. Write it myself or delegate. Shell info gathered. Name, DOT, MC, address. Acknowledgement written. Admission plus commitment to comply with 49 CFR. Owner officer signed the acknowledgement. Why it occurred block written. Polite, short, honest. 510 concrete actions taken listed. Future actions added with deadlines. Responsible person assigned. Attachments package assembled. Logs checked before submission. Driver errors found and closed. All placeholders in the template replaced with real data. CAP uploaded to Safer Portal. CAP duplicated to the inspector's email. Submission confirmation saved. Reminder set in calendar 3 weeks out. Check status. Key takeaway. Chapter Takeaway 1. A CAP is a second chance, not a verdict. FMCSA gives you time to fix it. 2. 3 scenarios. Failed new entrant audit. Conditional unsatisfactory after compliance review. Response to a specific problem. 3. Deadlines. A new entrant has 60 days for corrective actions under Section 385.319C. 45 for passenger hazmat. But by FMCSA policy, the CAP itself goes out within 15 days of the letter. Miss the window equals lose authority. 4. Structure. Shell acknowledgement, why it occurred, actions taken, future actions, responsible person, attachments. 5. Tone. Polite, honest, no argument. Arguments go to data queue, not here. 6. Attachments often matter more than the text. 7. Check the logs before sending. Finding someone else's mistake in your own CAP is worse than in the original audit. 8. Submit through Safer Portal plus email, save confirmations. 9. Wait 2 to 4 weeks for a response. Rejected, resubmit with fixes. 10. First CAP and you're the owner, delegate. The risk is too big to learn on. You've got Chapter 17 if you understand what a CAP is and when it's required. You know the 3 scenarios that trigger a CAP. You have the 7-block structure memorized. You can list at least 8 attachments for an ELD CAP. You understand the difference between CAP and data queue. You can tell inspector-friendly tone from a defensive one. You save the CAP templates from the book materials pack, truckernavi.com/en/book. You know that a rejection isn't the end. You can resubmit. You've chosen a strategy. Do it yourself, learn, or delegate. 11. You finish the textbook. If you made it to this line, you walk the path from what a safety manager does in Chapter 1 to how to save your authority in Chapter 17. Safety management isn't about genius or special talent. It's about discipline and system. You now know how a professional safety manager works. Company file, driver file, unit file, HOS, drug and alcohol, IFTA, DVIR, DOT inspections, data queue, defending the company in incidents, corrective action plan. It all adds up to one picture, and you can see it now. What's next? Practice. No textbook replaces that, but you now have the map. Go work. Need help with a corrective action plan? A CAP is one of those services where the cost of a mistake isn't a fine, it's the entire company. That's why many owners and in-house safety managers hand their first CAP to professionals. Not out of weakness, but to see a working template and handle the next ones themselves. Trucker Navi does CAPs turnkey. FMCSA letter analysis and identification of every violation by CFR. Writing the CAP, 410 pages, with the right structure and inspector-friendly tone. Adapting the driver handbook to your company, 80-plus pages of ready material. Attachments package, ELD logs, log audit summary, VOL, fuel, DVIR, HOS guide. Log review before submission. We find and close driver errors. Submission via Safer Portal plus email, tracked through to FMCSA's response. Rework if rejected. If follow-up questions come in, we answer them. Typical turnaround, 5-10 business days. We make the 15-day new entrant deadline. 315-871-0833. WhatsApp +1 929 347 4410. truckernavi.com. data@truckernavi.com. Offices in NY, NJ, FL. We are useful. Appendices. That was a chapter from Safety Manager from Zero to Expert by Dmitry Borovoy, founder of Trucker Navi. The full book is on Amazon. The companion page is at truckernavi.com/en/book.